Hello. Hello. Hey, sounds working today. Yay. All right. Hello. How are we doing? Hey. Can you hear me? I think I got my sound working today. Last time I made this video, it was so. I got the sound working, I hope. So if you can hear me, please let me know. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started and stuff, but my name is Lynn. I'm with Katie Lynn's Creations, and I would like you to come and learn with me. And if you like what you see, like video, share, comment, subscribe. It helps me. So, and shows that live is not easy. So let's see if I can get this live to work. Hello, can you hear me? That's my main thing. I don't want to sound like a robot again. Hey, let me know where you're from. You can hear me. Yes. And I don't sound like a robot. All right. So, man, I tell you, when I did that live Friday, nothing went right. Nothing. After I got off of the live, my computer died, shut off, and everything. And then I was like, okay, I wanted to, hang on, I'll be right back. I wanted to iron my burp cloth that I made in the hoop. It looks so pretty. Well, it don't look so pretty anymore. And I couldn't figure out what I did. I was like, why is this? Because I put heat and bond on the backside because I wanted it to bond because I did quilt on the backside. And then I realized that underneath here was the wash away that you put in your hoop when you are doing in the hoop projects. So ain't no pretty, not nice like this. So, and of course, I was trying to get a bigger one. So I had redid the design. So there's a big difference. It's a little bit better. So anyway, so we're going to try this again and see if we can get it to work. So all right. So do you have your own machines? All right. So with this, I use 2 layers of the wash away when I'm doing any project in the hoop. I have found that like the border and stuff, if it's not double, it'll pull the stitches in and stuff, and then it doesn't look very good. So I always use 2 anytime I'm doing an in the hoop project. Now, also, I found when I'm doing this, the 2, I actually use a little bit of 504 spray to stick it together because it's a little easier to tight because you want your hoop to be tight. And one layer, you can't pull it very well. So that's another reason to use the 2 layers. Where's everybody from tonight? Okay. So I've got my big hoop ready to go. I'll put it on the machine here. And then depending on what machine you have. If you have a different program, the buy comes with two different programs. This is the Wisdom, and if you want your hoop to come out so that you can trim your applique and stuff, you need to put in a stop, which then you have to know the sequences to your program design. And so I'm going to turn this around. Oh, nice. You'll like it. I've had mine about a year now. I wish I had more time to do it, but working full time. Daughter graduated last week. Ooh, got that under my belt. She's out of high school. Next step is college. So, but there are days I'm exhausted. And after that party, I was exhausted. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the camera around so you can kind of see a little bit about the, let's see if I can get in here, about what I'm going to do. So, let's see. Can't quite get close enough with this. So, I'm going to take this off. Did you get 15 needles, 12 needles? All right. So, here we go. You can see everything here. And so my design is already in there and I know my sequence, but to get your sequence, you'll have to hit this 3 threads. That's going to bring up your menu. And of course, I always recommend that you have this because you're going to have to know where you want your hoop to come out. So here, if you can see, there is, sorry, can't get that close, but in my first sequence, it's an outline, and it has an F in it, okay, and it's called the offset button. So if you want to set that, so my first one will do an outline, and I want it to pop out. So here on this first one, I'm going to put an F, and you can take that F off if you put it in the wrong spot. You just press the F down here, and then that comes off. If you want it back on, you push it back on, okay? And then, and my next one is I have another outline, so I want it to come out too. So it's already on there. Then you could start your sequence knowing what it is and your colors. I do recommend that you keep your white and black on all the time. Always keep your white and black on because you use them in just about everything. And then, you know, get your color sequence. And if you're doing something and you want this color to be here, so let's say here, say I'm using 14, and I want it to look pink or whatever. So I'm going to go into this little bar over here. It brings this up. So number 1 is my white. So that's good. So say I want to change number 3 to a blue or a green. You find the green or color that you want to match your color. So let's put a red in there. So that has now changed that red to a 3. Okay. You hit OK. That changes it here. So it'll show up red now on your design. So that way you can kind of keep track of your colors and everything. And that last color is 7. Okay. So I am ready to go. I've got all my sequences in, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put an F stop here just to be safe. All right. So I've got everything nice I really like the 15 needles. I mean, it's only a couple $100 more. That gives you 3 more needles. You could leave a design set up that's popular or that you do a lot of and have at it, and then keep running other designs. All right, so we've got this all set up. It is ready to go. So and always see where my blue dot is? I have one more little sequence. You need to make sure this is at your very end sequence. If you do not, if it's here, it will forget everything after it. I did that so many times. It took me a while to figure that one out. And so end, no more colors. You're going to press OK. Okay, so now we are ready to start. And what I'm going to do, get all my stuff out of the way here, is I am going to hit set start. And that'll do a little sequence. You can barely see, it shows the laser. So it kind of gives you the outline of your design. Okay. Now, it only shows up then, or if you push and are moving your frame one direction. So now I moved it too far the other direction, so my design is in the wrong direction. But I wanted to show you that thing. Now, if you have something happen and you need to go back to the start, see if I remember how to do this right. You're going to hit start down here on the end, and it says, do you want to terminate embroidery? And since I've moved my thing, I want to go back to the origin of where I want to start. So I'm going to press OK. It moved back, so now it's in the origin. And then what I like to do with most of my designs, I will float. And so I just hit this float. It's going to generate the design. And then we're going to come over here. How and where? Yes, I can. So now it's floating. I put my little bar down, my presser foot. Always be careful. If you're really close, don't put it down too far, because you could actually bend your foot because you're not paying attention if the design is way too big. So, but this is what I like to do. Because when I get a design in here, I always like to just double check to make sure of the placement. I'm happy with it. It doesn't hit anything. Yeah, when I tried to do my live the other day, I had taken the throat plate off. I wish the sound would have worked, because it was dirty. But I'll take that apart, show how to kind of clean it, put it back together again. So, and it also has, while that's finishing up here, it also has little spots that kind of tell you kind of where you want to oil. Like here, there's a spot right there. And if you can tell, you're like, oh, which hole? This one, this hole, or this? But this hole has a little bit of red on it. Now this one's a little bit tricky. I think this is this bar that they want you to oil from time to time. I'll have to refresh my memory on that one, and then I'll do a video. Hopefully now that my daughter's graduated and everything is starting to settle down, things will go better. Okay, so now I have this in place where I want it. Okay, and so I'm gonna, hang on, put the camera back up here. All right, let me see if I can move this back. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. All right, so now I'm ready to start. And I'm actually going to use batting on both the front and the back. Okay, so I've got 2 pieces of that. And then also on the satin stitch on the outline, I want the bottom thread to be the same. And so I have one here. This is a magnetic bobbin that I use because I hate the bobbin winder. Hate it because the bobbins don't have a little hole like most bobbins do that you can put your thread in, and it doesn't latch very well. So yeah, it doesn't like me. But anyway, so most of the time, if I'm just using regular embroidery stuff, this I use a magnetic bobbin. Now, you want to make sure that the little backlash washer is what I would call it, is removed from the bobbin casing, because the magnet works as your backlash. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use for just all other embroidery. Now, my other bobbin casing has color, okay, and it has, let's see if I can pop this out. This is the backlash spring. If you do not have that in with this, you're going to get bird's nests like crazy, because it's spinning so fast, it'll keep going. And that's what this does. This stops that. And so this just kind of goes right back in there. All right, fingers. All right. All right. All right. Bear with me. My fingers aren't working tonight. And it's not quite in there quite right. And that, you got to be sure that it has its has little bitty, tiny little wings right here. They go in at a certain spot. All right, there we go. And so you don't want to see it above this area right here. It should all be hidden, but it's back in there where it needs to be. Bobbin's going to go back in. Wind it around your little curlicue. I would definitely get yourself a couple extras of these. I've broken the little curlicue. Don't know how I did it, but it does happen. So, so this one will be for the last part. Let me get this in here. And when I put this in from up here, you can't really see what you're doing, so it's kind of by feel. And what I always do is I always listen for a click, because you'll hear a click when you push in. That way you know it's in. If you don't hear that click, it's not in. It's going to cause you problems. So, all right. Thank you. Man, I'm telling you guys, praying for no rain, because we've had so much rain here in Texas. It's crazy and everything. Okay. So I know that this is going to take up most of this, so I'm just going to cut this in half. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one down when it's outlining. All right, so. And you could use a little 504. I will probably use the 504 on my fabric because I'm not using heat bond. All right, so then you're ready to start. You're going to hit your start button. And then I just kind of guide it a little bit. Always be aware not to get too close with your fingers. People can get hurt, so always be careful. All right. All right, so you notice it popped out. That's what the F offset button does. It pops it out so that you can cut this out without taking, sometimes I still have to take my hoop off, but this is when you really want it for your appliques. This is what it's for. At some point, I'm going to try and get another machine. Of course, I want a bigger sewing area, and I want sequences and couching. But I want to be able to do some quilts. I do have a long arm quilting machine over there, and I'm working on a quilt for a customer. But I want to do quilts on my machine. And so that's why I want a bigger area, because the more area you can do, the less times you have to hoop. But, you know, with that, I guide it by hand. I don't have a computer to generalize the design. So it's all freehand, or you follow a pattern. And of course, you know, when you use your embroidery machine, it's a little neater and prettier. Not that it's not pretty when you do it by hand. And then also, I do have curved scissors. These are curved. Let's see. A little bit of a curve here when you're doing applique. And you want to be careful too. There's always a happy medium here. Sometimes I get too close and then it doesn't look good. And so I recommend that you kind of don't cut too close right away, because you can stop when you're doing the zigzag stitch at the end and stuff. And always do a trim to make sure. But if you trim too much, then it looks pretty sappy. All right, so now I've got this all ready to go. And so what I want to do now is I am going to take a 504 spray and spray it. And I'm just going to spray in this area, because that's where my fabric's going to go. Just lightly. Okay, and I have white fabric with little swirls on it. And you got to make sure which side has the right side of the fabric. All right. Oops, without squirty. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead, put this on. I did, since I am not using heat and bond, I did starch and pre-wash my fabric. I don't always do that, but when I messed up that one bib or a burp cloth, I was like really frustrated. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this over and trim just a little bit. All right, so we're going to hit start again. It'll pull it in. Of course, even though it does have the 504 spray on it, I still kind of like to just make sure that it doesn't cause puckering. So I just lightly smooth it as I go. Okay, came out again. And that's because I put that stops in there. If you don't put those stops in there, it will not pop out. Even, yeah, even. Sorry, getting a little thirsty. Oh, this design, I got off of Etsy. And I did edit it. So I use So What Pro and stuff, and so this was the actual design. And you know, to me, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it, I don't know, it didn't sit well. So of course this is the one I messed up again, everybody. But this sits nicely, hangs down a little bit more. So I had enlarged it to about 18 inches by 9. And then I don't like the way the eyes on this design. This is a Stitch Delight, which has very beautiful, beautiful stuff. And I didn't like the way the eyes stitched out and kind of a little bit rough. So that's why I want to cover the back. So, you know, you could put Tender Touch on this if you wanted to. But I'm going to use fabric. I think it's kind of versatile that way. All right, now, and you can take this out, but I always recommend you double check, because there's like a little bitty spot that the bracket clicks under. If for any reason you don't get it back in the same spot, you're going to be out of registration. So here we go. Let me trim this out. So what are some of the things that you guys are wanting to learn with your machines? Are you going to do like shirts, hats? I mean, we can do anything we want. Oh yeah. Pull just a little bit as I'm cutting. But I will say that these machines are a little bit more easy on the budget. Downfall is English barrier. with the customer service sometimes. They're getting better at their English, but when I first started working with Yana, I'd ask her questions because I was crying and pulling my hair out a couple times. And they'll help you work through it, but it may take a little bit of finagling. But I'd ask her a question and she wouldn't understand what I was asking. So I had to ask it a different way. And so that is why I started my YouTube channel, so that you guys could come and learn with me. Watch my mistakes. Don't do my mistakes. And help you learn. I've helped some people just on a Saturday and stuff through Facebook video chat. So if there is something that you need and you want to do a Facebook video chat and I'm available, I am more than willing to help you. I actually had a lady come and look at my machine because she's looking at all the machines here in this area and she's like, why? And the quality is really good too. You get a good quality stitch with this. Are these machines so expensive? And I said, well, we're buying from a manufacturer and kind of cut out the middleman. All right. All right, so that's going to pull back in and it's going to actually start stitching. Hopefully, if I did this right, it is going to start stitching the elephant. Pull it in, goes up, changes color. And I picked the wrong color. So I picked blue when it should have been pink. Let's go. And the scissors over here cuts it. So I am going to back up here. Here we go. Now, if you want to back up, there's this needle with an up and down arrow. So I'm going to tap on that. It opens up here. You see a plus or a negative. And you hit this. It backs it up. Okay. You hit the other way, it'll go forward. If you want to go fast and get someplace, oops, sorry. You hit that, it goes to fast, and it'll go whoot. That's off. So we're going to go back just a tad. Okay. Now, here's a good learning lesson. Don't give up. It took me 2 months. I kept having bird's nests and stuff. Sounds like and you think about it, these machines come from overseas, so they do get jostled around. Things can shift and stuff. There is a knob. Let's see, I can't quite, on this, over here on this side, right underneath on this underneath, my camera has a cord, so I can't quite get to it. But if you'll reach under there, there's a knob under there. If you will make sure that it is turned counterclockwise all the way. I don't know if that'll help or not, but it may be the timing's off, the needle's popping off a lot, the threads. All right, so I am going to stitch over this, which normally I wouldn't do, but it's going to be a sample. So I need to manually switch the color. So this is a good learning thing. So we are going to go here, there is an A. Let me see. I'll take this off again. Bear with me, babies. Okay. So, sounds like my daughter's home. And put that over there. All right. So, there is an A. There's 2 threads with an A. That means automatic. It will automatically change your thread. So since I programmed the wrong color, I need to go A, and it now has an M on it. That means it's manually. Now I want to change it to the right color I need. So I'm going to go down here, and there's 3 needles. So I'm going to hit that, okay? And that is going to be, my light pink. Gotta make sure I got that. So that is number 11. So I'm going to hit number 11. It automatically moves to 11. Okay? Exit out. And then start. It'll sew that color. So you can change it if you did pick the wrong color. I wish they had wireless webcams. I couldn't find one. So let me get my light back here so you can see. Yeah. All right. So we're stitching again. Of course, you can see the blue, but it's going to have an outline and some gray and some other stuff. So, like I said, it's a sample. Hopefully, it'll cover enough. If not, it's okay. All right. Any questions so far? Everybody understanding things okay? Is she home? Is she home? Would you like to see? All right. It's Sandy. All right. This is my sweet baby Sandy. Yeah. She's excited because my daughter should be home from work. So she gets excited. She's like, ah! Yeah. Uh-huh. Can you say hi to everybody? All right. Now, also, when you use the manual, it should stop after this color, and all you do is hit that button again and put it back to A. It'll automatically shift to back. So I am actually going to go back in to color sequence, and I see that it is the wrong colors down here. It is the wrong color too. I'll put 14, 14, which it needs to be 11 and 7. So I'm going to go here, change this, go back to the end, and hit OK. Yes, I want to change this, clear it and change it. All right. So now I want to go back to A for auto, and hopefully it should go to the dark pink. Yep. All right, it did. Went to the dark pink. All right. Now my speed's about 780. Now, too, fast is great, but fast can also cause more problems. So that might be something to look at with your needle popping. I don't know how fast the speed you're going, but sometimes when it's going too fast, it can pop the threads out like that. So you might try and slow it down. See, but I normally run around 780. I can run up to, and then of course here you have the plus and the negative. Hey, sweetie. All right. And then I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. Turned it up to 800, 880. I got about 860. I'm live. So now we're doing the light gray. Yes, light gray. Check my thing. Light gray, yeah. And so definitely what I would suggest to you is always get your things to print out. And if it's something you're going to do a lot, write down that, write down the colors you use if you're using Madeira or Robertson's, whatever it is, or some of the others. And then put these like in a folder, a clear plastic thing when you're done, and put them in a little notebook. Sonia, is your needle, are you still here? Is it all the needles or just a particular color that keeps popping? Okay. Is it all the needles? Or is it like maybe 2 or 3 particular colors that are popping more than others? That might be something to look at too, is yes, I do too. I do have a video that talks about the size hoops and stuff, because you know we're imperial inches and we millimeters metric. I get confused, and so I do too. But I would definitely get yourself a card, write down each hoop that you have and the maximum design capability it will go, and then just refer back to that. Let's see, 5 by 7. Yeah, see, and like I said, I have dyslexia, so I'm a very visual person, and it's a big struggle. So, well, see, I don't even remember which hoop is C. All right. I'm gonna let that sew for just a little bit, guys. So another thing you might think about doing is actually writing on your hoops, right? On your hoops. And then I would also mark your centers, which I had another video that screwed up. It was pockets, how to hoop pockets and stuff. And so I have my hoops marked in the center and in the center. And then on here, on the back, you'll see a little bitty round circle. And I would make a line there and there because that's where your guideline needs to be to hoop pockets. Because you're going to want to line your pocket at the top of those marks. And that way you know it'll be straight as well. Okay. Have you run a tension test to see if maybe it's a tighter tension on those? It's really a process of troubleshooting, a process of elimination. But you might try a tension test, look at the back. I had a little thing that I got from Madeira Thread. They'll talk about the tension, what's good, what's not. And look to see, after you've done that tension test, to see if it looks bad or not on those ones. So track the ones that are really popping, and then go from that. See if that helps. All right, and then, of course, I have this. Oh, okay, that's okay. Sit tight for a second. We're gonna. So hit that. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. Okay. So also, I do recommend tweezers. So now, too, weather can play into how things sew. You wouldn't think so, but humidity or, yeah. Have you changed any of your needles? You always want to make sure that the eye is to the left or to the right just a little bit. So it's a little bit of a, oops, don't go in there. I can't see the needle. All right. Got to pull my chair up because I can't see the needle. Okay. Come on. So, hang on, right down here. So once I get my thread through the needle, this is when I take my tweezers and pull it through. All right, so I'm gonna back up just a tad. Start. And then I stop and trim my little wing. All right. All right. All right. So that's working. See, it's not liking it. And that beeps enough to drive you crazy. Perfect. I am going to try and adjust my needle a little bit. My thread broke, and this was the needle that I broke on Friday, and I want to turn it just a little bit. Because if it is off just a tad, it can cause the thread to break. So that's why, hello, how are you tonight? Thanks for joining. So that's why when you're putting the needle in, you got to be really careful of making sure that you get the back side of the needle towards the back, and it has a little bit of a curve in it. If you'll look at your needles, that goes towards the back. And then, of course, you want your eye to be slightly tilted to the right. So, good learning. Good learning. All right. Got it threaded. Little tweezers. And what's so funny? These tweezers are from my dental tools. From school, I had to buy dental tools, and I was like, I'm not using them anymore. All right, so I'm going to back up. So we're going to start here again. All right. How do you back up? It won't go off until you back up. So the beep drives me crazy because it's like beep, beep, beep. I'm like, okay. So the icon that's the needle and the arrow, you're going to hit that, and then you're going to back up a few stitches. It'll stop the beeping. All right. think that fixed the breaking of the black. So when you start having problems, you got to start thinking about ways to eliminate what it possibly could be. Okay, and now it's going to be all right. Well, it's sewing the crown. So it should be close to being done with this particular design. As you can see, I did a little baby bib bandana. Cute. So I thought that'd be a cute little set. One part of the butterfly left. Okay. So it's doing the butterfly, so hopefully it'll pop out. Then we can put on the back batting, and then the fabric. So I was also going to show these hoops too. These are the magnetic hoops. They are from company here in the U.S. They have a patent on them, and I was contacted by them, and you need to be really careful about buying the knockoffs because they are breaking the patent. These Chinese company is breaking the patent, and they could get stuck in customs, and you may never receive them. So these are really good quality. The customer service was wonderful. After they told me, you know, I can't recommend them, I can't do anything to promote them, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So, you know, Midwest hooping, Mighty Hoops are the way to go. Their customer service was amazing. I also have a freestanding hooping station that I got, which I'm going to show that later on as well. All right, so we're changing here. Let's see where we're at. Okay. So it didn't stop, so I didn't get the F in the right place, but that's okay because I can stop it at any time. So I'm going to go ahead, hit the scissors, pull it out, and I'm going to flip it over. Yeah, that's enough pretty good. And I do want to go ahead and trim just a few of these little bitty stragglers here on the bottom. Yeah, right there. So just, I don't know, kind of what I do. All, once you start getting working, it's all preference and stuff. All right, so now I'm going to put another batting on here, and this time I am going to use my 504 spray again. All right, and this time, make sure all that's out of the way. I'm going to spread the back just around the design. All right. Now you could, I think I have it so it'll do 2 stitches, but if it doesn't, I'll show you how to back up. So we're going to flip this again. We're going to go back in, kind of just let it glide on the table. Not so happy with that. Is that not coming? Okay. Yeah, that is covering. Okay. Just wanted to make sure it was covered in that area. Making sure my hoop's back in the right spot. All right. So now I'm going to hit start. That should tack that down. Okay. Don't let it run wild, okay? All right. All right. So we got that out. We're going to flip this up, cut it out. Oops. So. Trim this up again. I accidentally got my wash away under there, but that's all right. All right, so let me trim this. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Forgot. And there's 2 baskets, so. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys all coming and participating live with me. And so far, things have gone well. Even though I had a few things mess up, it's kind of a learning thing for you guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put the back fabric on while I've got it out. Of course, I'm going to use my 501. No, the blue one that I just showed, no, I bought that here in, I bought that from Mighty Hoops. It's a magnetic hoop. Just don't buy the knockoffs because they can take them away from you. Because they're patent. All right, so that's why you want to make sure you get the ones from Mighty Hoops, not the knockoffs, guys. All right, so I'm going to trim this. All right, so that's down. And I'm going to make sure that it's kind of flat on the ground, because sometimes if you're not careful, it can shift a little bit. I have 3 hoops from Mighty Hoops. I have 11 by 13. This one is a 7.5 by 7.5, I believe. No, 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. So I have that one. And then I have this one, which is a 10 by 9, I believe. But, okay, so that's in, and that is in. So we're ready to start again. Let's see if I got this sequence right. And it is not. So, all right, let's see. So I got a backup. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go back up. All right, so basically I have the sequence off, and so that's why I always recommend doing a sample of your items. I mean, that's just me. All right. So because I needed to tack the back down one more time, I just backed up and redid that sequence. Yeah, the green one that I'm using right now came with the machine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out here and trim this up. But yeah, this came, it's not a magnetic hoop. Anything that's green that's not magnetic came with it. So. All right. Where did I put my scissors? There they are. No problem. I like doing the videos because I like being a teacher, and I know how frustrating it can be if you don't have somebody that knows a little bit about what they're doing. to help you. Hopefully now that life is a little less stressful with her graduating done, hopefully I can get a few more videos put together and done right. And so I appreciate you guys liking and subscribing, coming and watching, because, you know, without you, I'm nobody. You make my channel. All right, so I got that cut. Make sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in. All right. So now it's going to do the quilting. And then when the quilting is done, I put a stop, hopefully, for it to come out. And then I will change the bobbin. So who's going to be doing this as a business or just a hobby? I believe two, but I think. I thought it did, but I don't remember, to be honest. But I went and I purchased I went ahead and purchased some more. So I have several of them on hand. And I got these on, I think, Amazon, or All Stitch has them as well. And one of the things I had to do this design was I had to edit the quilting underneath this so that it wouldn't quilt on top. And so that was interesting. That's one thing nice about Sew What Pro is that you can erase stitches or you can cut a stitch. But other programs do that too, but it was only $65. And it works pretty good for editing. What kind of bobbin case did I buy? No, these are L, I believe these are L size. Because my long arm takes M, but they're L size bobbins. L size. And like your magnetic bobbins, magnetics. I got these on Amazon, a lot of stuff, or I think All Stitch has it. But these are white magnetic core L style. Can't read that, but that's what it says. Got those on Amazon. I love them. You're welcome. Any questions you have, you know, my email is katielynscreations@yahoo.com. Email me. I'll try and get to you as soon as I can. And my name is Lynn, by the way, not Katie. That's my daughter's first name. So, yes. All right. This is so cute. Now, if you are changing design sizes, you have to be aware that not all designs can be enlarged and work properly. So you do, you know, they say about 10%, but some can be pushed to that. Yes, bobbin case should be L as well. All right. So hopefully it'll stop and pull out if I got the sequence right. And when it stops, I want to change the color of the bobbin. Yes. Okay. So I pulled out, and I had that I'm not going to do anything. Well, I might after it does the thing, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm not pull my hoop out, but that gives me the opportunity to change into the colored bobbin thread. So let me pull this out. Okay. Listen for the click. There's the click. All right. So I'm going to start it again. Change colors. All right. So now it's going to do a little bit of a zigzag. And when that stitch is done, I'm going to stop it because I want to make sure that I've trimmed enough away so that it is not sticking out of the satin stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to stop it. I'm going to cut the thread, and I'm going to pull it out. And I am looking at my border, and I want to see to make sure that everything is under the stitches. And I cut it perfect. Good. There. I want to check my back. Now, I've got a couple loops there. Okay, so there's a little bit. All right, cut my tags where it didn't stitch where that elephant is. And then right here is a little bit, right there. So I'm just going to lightly kind of pull it up with my scissors and trim that off. A little bit right there. Wire there. All right. Okay. So just about done. I'm going to put it back on. Back up a few stitches to get those satin stitches again, because I actually clipped them out of there. And oops, back up. All right. So now it's going to do the satin stitch around the burp cloth. And it goes a little bit slow on satin stitches, so I mean I have a run at 800, but during satin stitches it's the 440. Just about done. So no, I do not. Just on bigger projects that are flat like this, because when you get your shirts, you want to be able to have that net go over the bar that you're bobbing in, is the sewing arm. So you want it, your t-shirt, your neck, depending on how you hoop it, and you want that to be open. So you need that open area. Or if you have caps, you're not going to have this on. This is basically for bigger projects that need a little bit more support. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily have to use the table on this either, but I just like it because I can set stuff on it a little bit as I go. Yeah, just my little boo-boo there, the blue. I'll probably take like a little permanent marker and just go over that and then take some pictures of it and post it on SD. Now, I haven't done a lot of sales yet. I've done some. I sold. I'm not as getting my stuff seen as some of the other, like embroidery nurse. She's amazing. And then the other one, Jasmine, Jasmina. She has a lot of followers and a lot of sales. But since I'm only doing this part-time, I've found that it's a little challenging to keep up. I sold quite a bit to my co-workers. I've done some monogramming of towels for a wedding. I did some beach towels with names. And then I did Easter baskets, which I have a video on that. So these are some of the things while we're waiting that I've done. Little M. This is Juju's Designs. And this was just a little D. And I love these buffalo, but that's rope. Different ones. I've got these listed. Let's see here. There's the other one. I did a video on this. So check out my other videos. And then I did this one. It's just a mermaid towel with a name on it. I got these last year on clearance for $2.50 at Walmart. So all right, we're getting down there. The table is not too hard. Let me see if I can show you. Well, I'll take the camera off and show you. It just slides in and out, but then it has little down here. There is a thing right here. Sorry, trying to get the camera to work. Right here, there's a little screw, one on each side. And I did here. These are just little things I picked up at our dollar store so that I can hang my things on. But it slides in and then unscrew it, so it's real easy. But there are many things that you can do. Of course, our machine came with the sneaker holder. I've done a little bag, small bag on that. And I haven't done sneakers yet, but I want to do like a yoga mat. I want to try doing car mats. I've seen those done. And then this particular model, you can do pictures of people, and it will, I think it's a JPEG, I think that's what it has to be. It'll take it and digitize it, and then you put the 4 colors on, red, yellow, blue, and black, and it'll design, which I'm going to do a video on that. But I'm not sure if the other program has that capability. I know this one does. Sure. I appreciate you guys sticking with me and watching and asking questions. You know, it's all about learning together. I mean, I do have a single needle over here, which is nice, but I really like how much easier things are easier to work with, you know, because if you're floating t-shirts on a single needle like that and stuff, it's a little bit more challenging because you really have to sit and babysit it. With this, I normally don't babysit. I would be working on something else while this was going. I listen while I'm working on something, always listen. But most of the time, you can set your design to go when you get everything working right. And it'll take care of itself. Of course, you might pop threads from time to time. Things do happen. So, and then once this is done, you just trim it out and get your little warm water and wash away the But, you know, that's one thing. There's more and more people are buying these machines, but there's a demand, and your design that you put together may be different, and somebody might like it. And if I put a design together, it may be just a little bit different, and somebody else may like it. So, because we all have a creative eye that is different. All right, we're getting close to being done. That's the fun part of the embroidery is watching it come alive, because you watch it like, oh, that's like, and then you get down to the end and you start to see the finished product and you're like, oh yeah, baby, loving it. I am using 2 layers of wash away. 2 layers. I've tried one and it just does not make it look, it works, but it holds up these bigger stitches a lot better. I've done some snowmen with them, and some of the edges don't look as good because they kind of sink in. Because these stitches will kind of pull the wash away if it's only 1 layer. Okay. I think it has 1 more thing to do, and we'll be done. We're going to do a little center stitch, and we will be done. And you wouldn't necessarily have to do that if you didn't want to, but all right, we are done. See? And that way you have the same color thread if you put your bobbin in. So, and you just cut it out. And take your little Q-tip or paintbrush with some hot water, and this will wash away. Of course, you could always like save your scraps. Because with this one, there's quite a big amount of scraps. Oops. Trying to get this out of here real quick. It's getting late. Up here. I gotta go work tomorrow. Go clean some teeth. Make some pretty white teeth. All right. 1 more thing. And I would normally spend a little bit more time cutting this out, but since it's so late, trying to get it done. So here we go. Here is the burp cloth. And the back side is quilted. Now this little spot here, you can't quite see it. This little spot here did not quilt because that's where I had the design and didn't want to quilt over it. So I didn't quilt over that part, this part of the design. So take your hot water, clean that up, and there you go. So guys, okay, I am going to sign off and say goodnight. So like the video, subscribe, share, and if there's something that you want to learn, post it in there and I will try and get a video. Sometimes it takes me a while, but I will eventually get it. So like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye guys. Okay, let's end this.